we realized the magnitude of the storm was as big as it was, and that we were going to get inundated with as much water as we were, it was preparing for that. We had the dry run, no pun intended, the year before with Hurricane Irene, and thank God that didn't hit us, but Sandy was that and more.
On the east side of Manhattan, where we own a 90-year-old building called 120 Wall Street, there was a real impact. That building took on water in the basement. It had water in the lobby. It was definitely impacted in terms of mechanical systems were below grade. We invested a lot of money, honestly, in generators and in getting people to come in and clean up. The tenants were thrilled to be back. It was also the reopening of that building when there were still a lot of buildings on Water Street that were out. It was an important signal that the east side of downtown, Water Street, was going to be back.
There's the role of the immediate emergency funding, but then there's also the role of sitting back, waiting to see what the long-term needs are. And again, we gave funds to food banks to buy food, but also in looking forward, what have we learned? What can we do going forward?
This storm was a big storm, but I think the maximum sustained winds were around 90 miles an hour and the storm surge was around 12 to 14 feet. You know, a Category 5 hurricane will produce winds almost twice that or twice that, and a storm surge 2 to 3 times that much. So part of our challenge is to figure out what it is, how bad is bad, and how much are we going to plan for.
We want to take the science of weather forecasting. It's come such a long way in the last 25 years. There are very good tools that'll tell us what we're going to experience, what the storm surge is going to be, what the wind speeds are going to be. You take that and you combine it with the engineering of the build of the system. The sea level has risen maybe a foot in the last 70 years. We expect it to rise some more. We can get rolling stock out of harm's way and put it in a high ground location, but you can't move stairways, you can't move stations. So we need to identify those locations that will most likely see flooding and put in features that can either eliminate that flooding from occurring or significantly decrease its likelihood.
We are doing a systematic review of all those opportunities, and every project that's coming before us, whether it's been in the pipeline for a long time or starting today, is being viewed through the prism of how can we build mitigation and resilience into the investment from day one. We're also trying to be focused on obviously building resilience and mitigation in for Superstorm Sandy, but also for other acts of nature and acts of man, and making that part of our planning and investment process.